Greetings, everybody. Amar here, and I'm doing a response to Brandy's question about what to look for in the drawing sense hit chart. And it's a good question. And I'm doing this is the 4B in Advantage Gold. Once you print out the last 720 drawings, which is approximately the last 2 years of the drawing sense hit chart, I think the next best thing to do is to cross-reference it with the 4B. Now the 4B, I changed the range here. This is the last 401 drawings. It's not the last 720, and that's because there was a change in the amount of numbers. It changed from 41 to 43. So that's why I put 401. But generally, I like 2 years is a good gauge of what's going to happen. So I think the next thing that you want to do is try to get familiar with the skip patterns of the best three numbers and the worst three numbers. And why is that? Is because the best three numbers are the hardest numbers to hit. And why is that? It's because they're hitting so much that you don't think that they're going to hit any more. And the worst three numbers, they're hitting so slow that you're expecting them to get hot. So you're chasing the cold numbers and you're stepping back from the hot numbers. So for instance, one of the hottest numbers here is the number 4. It's plus 13. Now there's a pop-up here in blue. I don't think you can read that, but it says 04 currently has 59 hits, 13 above normal. Hit ratio is 126.2%. Okay, so if we go back in time with the number 4, you can see the last time it had numerous dormant periods was back here. You can see there was a streak here, and then you had 13. So this is one dormant period after this streak. This is a hot skip after the dormant period. Looking for the hot skip is a good idea, okay? But this is still going to be considered a technical correction. So this is going to be 2 dormant periods. This is 3 dormant periods. This is here another technical correction. I would have looked for hot skip and probably dropped it, but here it's 4. Sometimes I break the rule with 4. Looking for a reverse flag, and this is, let me see, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had 5 dormant periods, and then you had a repeat. Here's your hot skip. So I would have looked for a hot skip after the 12. I would have failed, dropped the number. It would have gone to 11. You would have looked for the bottom, and then you would have looked for a hot skip. And so you have a 05. Here's a flag. 05501. Here's an intermediate. So basically, okay, so you would mark on the drawing sense hit chart, and since you don't have to, you could use colored pencils. You could use the blue for 1 and the yellow for 2 and the green for 3, or you could just use a black Sharpie. But the main thing is here is that there's 5 dormant periods with the 11, and then you want to count how many hits are in the streak, or the nexus, the flag formation. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you had 13 hits in this streak, and then you had 1 dormant period, right? And then it stayed hot. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits in the streak. And then you had 1 dormant period. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. And now you want 1 dormant period. So you can see that here the trend changed from after 5 dormant periods, you're having your streak. Now you're having a streak after 1 dormant period, 1 dormant period. So I would color this in here with pink, right? Meaning the flag. You could put in the yellow for the intermediate, but you might just want to leave it blank because it can get, a little bit complicated with all the colors. But definitely would mark all of the skipped 4s and 2s and 5s and 3s there. So the flags will stand out. 400, we'll count that as flag. All right, so here is now it's at skip 15. So if we're looking at symmetry for the long skips, 15, 13, 15, 13, 15, 11, 12, 16. So it's symmetry all the way back to this 16, right? So maybe it'll come in, maybe it won't. We'll see. All right, so that's an example of one of the hottest numbers. Now let's go to one of the coldest numbers. So the coldest number here looks like the number 17, negative 16. And the pop-up says number 16 currently, number 17 rather, currently has 30 hits, 16 below normal, hit ratio equals 64.2%. So we're going to look at the dormant periods also over here. So here you had 1 dormant period, 2 dormant period, 3 dormant period, 4 dormant periods. After 4 dormant periods, how many hits in the streak did you have? You had 1, 2. Okay, so these 3 total together are a streak, but I'm just counting these for the streak. So now you had 1, and then you had 1, 2 in the streak. You had 1, 1, 2, 3 here in the streak. Then you had 1, 2, 1, 2 in the streak, right? And then here another dormant period, 1, 2 in the streak. So you can see that this number 17, after a dormant period and it has a trend reversal, it's only having at most 2 to 3 hits, depending if you're counting the dormant period as a hit. Okay, but I'm going to count the dormant period as a dormant period hit and the streak as in between inside, and then these 2 plus the 1 is 3, and that is a streak. That resets the dormant period count. So you can see that at the 17, you're having only 2 to 3 hits after the dormant period, right? Now that could change, but you can see that that's a trend. So the coldest number is very hard to predict, and the hottest number. So let's look at just one more hot number. Here, the number 39. It's 25 above normal. The hit ratio is 151.9%, and that's in the last 401 games. And if you go back here, you can see here there's let me see, what is this? Is this a 15? I think that's it's a 15. So you have using this criteria. Here's just your last streak over here. So we had 1 dormant period, 2 dormant periods, and then you had 1, 2, 3 hits in the streak. Then you had 1 dormant period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in the streak. Then you had 1 dormant period, 2 dormant periods, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the streak. 1 dormant period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits in the streak. 1 dormant period, 2 dormant periods, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the streak. 1 dormant period, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the streak. So this is what you're looking for in the drawing sense hit chart. You got to scan it, right? When I do it, I scan it from top to bottom. Now I had printed it out 2 years. 1 month was on 1 page, so I had 6 months of the first half of 1 year, and then I had the next 6 months. So I had 4 columns. I would scan the drawing sense hit chart. So I would say start with those numbers. Start with the 1. Did I say the 1? No, start with the 4. One of the hottest numbers, which is over here. The coldest number, the 17. And then the 39, also the hottest number. And you can see after this, let's see, if we go to the right here. All right, so 1 dormant period, 2 dormant periods, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in streak. 1 dormant period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in streak. So basically, you're counting how many dormant periods. How many dormant periods can you expect before the number gets hot, and then how many hits are in the streak after it has a trend reversal. So that is the general one of the things you want to look at. So I think that's the first thing to start with, and I'll continue this later. I did export this into Excel, but I have to flip it, sort it, flip it again to make it go from left to right so I could read it, and I'll start putting in the circles so that as in the colors is one way to do the enumeration. So anyway, I hope this helps a little bit. I'll respond to you shortly. I got some things I have to do tomorrow. I have to reapply for my deferment on my loan. I have to call my father to get some cash, and I have to also reapply for health insurance. I didn't have a very productive weekend, but I'm glad to see that you're still enthused. Got me off my butt a little bit. So that's about it. So any more questions, comments, feel free to ask, and talk to you soon. Good luck.